Hey everyone, how's it going? So, I am back, trying to beat Pokemon Emerald now with just a Wurmple. A few days ago, I released a video seeing whether or not I could beat Wurmple in Ruby and Sapphire. Maybe you want to watch that video first and have a Wurmple Palooza. Or maybe you don't want to watch that video and want me to explain what I'm doing. Well, it's very simple. This is a vanilla copy of Pokemon Emerald, but I have modified the game in only one way. The starter Pokemon will be a Wurmple. I am not going to be using items in battle, and I'm not going to be using any glitches or cheating. Now, normally in these challenges, I wouldn't modify my Wurmple, but because I thought it would be hilarious, I actually modified Wurmple to be literally the exact same Wurmple from Ruby and Sapphire. Statistically identical. Now, for those of you who need a quick refresher, Wurmple is awful. It has very, very, very bad stats. One of the worst in Pokemon. It is also not a Pokemon that gets a lot of moves. It gets all of 3. Tackle, String Shot, and Poison Sting. None of them are same type. None of them are good. This is, I think, the 40th video of the year. That's crazy. And one thing, if I may ask, statistically, the vast majority of you are subscribed. But in honor of my 40th video, can we get to 400,000 subs at some point? I don't know, I'd like that, but it really doesn't matter. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching this year, and I'm excited to get the run started. But first, as it is the holiday season, like a lot of you, I'm spending a lot more money. I mean, everything is just so expensive nowadays, and I need a way to better budget and optimize my spending. Well, that's where today's sponsor, Rocket Money, is here to help. All right, well, in today's world, everything is a subscription, and oftentimes you can start a free trial of the subscription, but like a lot of you, I forget to cancel them, or there is something that I want to use for a few months, I stop using it, and I forget to cancel it. Well, Rocket Money is here to help. Rocket Money can automatically track subscriptions and consolidate them into a single list, and then oftentimes can cancel the subscription within the app with just a few taps. Another real issue I have is with budgeting and trying to figure out how much I'm spending on each thing. Rocket Money really helps in that regard. You can create a budget or set a spending goal by category, and you get personalized insights to help uncover your spending habits so you can identify areas for optimization. Rocket Money is free to download, but you can get a free premium trial when you sign up with my link. All you gotta do is go to rocketmoney.com/Saros11, or you can scan the QR code, and if neither of those work for you for whatever reason, you can click the link in the description. Alrighty, so one big difference between Emerald and Ruby and Sapphire, at least in this early section, is there are more trainers, and that's gonna make it a little easier to level up. There's also another huge difference, but before I go over that, I should say that I'm going to be making a lot of comparisons between Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald, so if you don't want that run spoiled, now's your last chance. Okay, cool. So another massive difference that is really important to us that I mentioned in the Ruby Sapphire video is that we don't need to fully EV train right away. So for those of you who don't know, Pokemon have a bunch of stats. EVs are stats you get from KOing Pokemon. In Ruby and Sapphire, there is no way to subtract EVs. So if you get an EV in special attack from KOing a Ralts, well, that's just too bad. You have that now. In Emerald, there are berries we can use that allow us to reset our EVs. So I can just knock out whatever Pokemon are fastest in order to level up as quickly as possible to get to Roxanne. In theory, this makes Emerald a much more pleasant experience than Ruby and Sapphire. In practice, however, I anticipate Emerald being a little bit more difficult because Roxanne has that extra Geodude. Sure, they're both at level 12 as opposed to one at level 14, but I actually think one at level 14 might be a little easier than two at level 12. We'll see. Alright, so my first battle with Roxanne, I'm only 15 real-world minutes in, and I'm at level 17. This, however, will not work. You can see that we're using Struggle because we've used up all our moves, but it's not doing enough. My speculation here is we're going to have to do about half of Geodude's health in order to win, and the potions plus the recoil damage and of course the Rock Tomb / Rock Throws are all very bad. You may notice that when Rock Tomb is used, unlike normal, Wurmple will not lose any speed. That's because of its shield dust ability, but actually might be a problem versus Nose Pass, since I think if I'm faster, it will always use Rock Tomb. But that's a problem for future Gyros. Right now, I'm not even getting past Geodude number 1. Alright, the second time I try Roxanne is at level 21. Once again, we're using Struggle, and now we're doing about a quarter. Also, actually it looks to be about a third. We get a Rock Tomb miss, but the potion makes this very annoying. Roxanne won't potion the first Geodude twice, and we do beat it, which is an improvement. However, that's likely as far as we go without crazy luck, and we're not going to get it. Rock Tomb just does way too much damage. Now, I'm not sure if any of you would have asked this because that video hasn't actually been released as of now, but if you might be wondering what happens if you use Poison Sting, I mean, it can be nice to use Poison Sting. The 1/8 is not terrible, but it deals damage just way too slowly. In theory, I could use up all my moves and just have one Poison Sting and then go to Struggle, but the truth is, I do think the idea of needing 2 struggles per Geodude might be the correct answer. So, when I lose to Roxanne, I can level up. I'm on Route 116 right now, just battling a bunch of Pokemon. But there is one very unfortunate thing about Emerald that separates it from Ruby and Sapphire. In Ruby and Sapphire, I mentioned getting what I call the Zigzagoon army. Zigzagoon is a very, very useful secondary Pokemon that while, according to the rules, we can't use in battle, we still do need Pokemon for HM purposes. Zigzagoon also serve an additional purpose. Their passive ability, Pickup, means every time I win a battle, 10% of the time, a Zigzagoon would get something. But I don't even bother having them here. Why? Well, unlike Ruby and Sapphire, where even very low-level Zigzagoon can get rare candy 10% of the time they pick up an item, starting in Pokemon Emerald, to balance things out a bit more, the Zigzagoon only start picking up really good items like rare candies once they hit higher levels. And since there's no way for us to level it up in battle, since we're not allowed to use it, we wouldn't be getting items we really need at this point. I mean, we could get a King's Rock or something, but the Oranberry is probably more useful. And yeah, we could get Nuggets, but we don't even need those at all. This means that while I don't EV train, which saves a lot of time battling level 3 and 4 Poochyenas, I waste a lot more time leveling up, because by this point I would have several rare candies. Now, I was able to beat Roxanne at level 26, but I'm going to try at level 23. We're actually pretty close, because we're almost two-shotting Geodude. Unfortunately, Defense Curl isn't the best, because now it's going to take... Oh, nice crit. Alright, fine. That gets us past Geodude number 1. And then Struggle, it's going to be a 3-shot. Ooh, now it's going to be a 4... Maybe still a 3-shot. We're at 23 with the Oranberry. Oh yeah, Potion. So unless we get another crit, I think we lose. Oh, wait, maybe not. Rock Tomb misses. Oh, no. Oh, it misses again. Okay. So we're at 16, but here's Nose Pass at level 15, same level, and it does a lot of damage, meaning level 23 is still not the right level for me. But one thing that is kind of cool is, well, unfortunately, we're going to lose our Struggle here because we heal. But what I was going to say, and this is true, we do gain a lot of experience by beating the 2 Geodude and then not resetting. It took a while, but finally at level 25, so 1 level lower than Ruby and Sapphire, we get the victory. It doesn't look good to start with both Defense Curl and a Rock Tomb hit, but we get a crit. So we make it to Geodude number 2 at 41 HP. Then it's doing about half, we get the Rock Tomb miss we need, and that is perfect. Like I said, that's what we needed. We're at 43 with Oranberry, Rock Tomb misses from Nose Pass. Then we're at 38, Rock Tomb hits, Oranberry triggers on Nose Pass, then we get the Clutch Miss, the Potion, and now we need one more miss in order to win, or a crit. We get the crit, and we win. Was a lot of luck involved? You betcha! But I don't mind it whatsoever. So far, Emerald Wurmple has a slight edge over Ruby and Sapphire Wurmple. Next up is Brawly. He was pretty easy in Ruby and Sapphire, but he's a bit of a different team this time. I miss with Tackle, he hits with Seismic Toss, he hits with Karate Chop. Tackle's doing pretty good damage. I have my Oranberry, so I 3-shot. Now this Metatite is new, and Bulk Up sucks, but typically, This thing went for light screen. Typically, went for reflect. Typically, it goes for focus punch. So I'm just going to keep going for poison sting and trying to poison it because I think, yep, Brawly does heal. So if I poison it, I don't know why it's not working, but if I do, it will save a lot of time because of these bulk ups. And then actually I can just keep with poison sting. It really doesn't matter. And eventually the Metatite will faint because it can't hit me since focus punch requires Metatite not to be hit. And unlike Tackle, which has a 5% chance of missing, Poison Sting has a 0% chance. So Makuhita, we go for Tackle. It does nothing because Reflect is still up. And then I go for Tackle. It went for 2 bulk ups. So even though Reflect is down, actually I end up doing more damage. It's pretty funny. Now it goes for Reversal, which crits. Makuhita has a Citrus Berry. Unfortunately for me, while I can go for Poison Sting, Makuhita does have the Guts ability, meaning I just raised its attack by a crazy amount. I'm going to try this again. The Reflect really hurt me early, but I don't know if this is going to be possible. Brawly is a lot tougher, and this is going to be a consistent thing. Most of the gym leaders have been massively improved in Emerald version over their Ruby and Sapphire counterparts. So, as we speed through the battle, I've gotten through Metatite, and we are at 43 HP at level 27. So Reflect fades, I get a good Tackle, but it doesn't do enough. Bulk up, I get Tackle, we're at half HP, but remember, Makuhita is a Citrus Berry, which in this game is just 30 HP, very overpowered early on. I then get a very unclutched Tackle miss, and Vital Throw, and Tackle, and Vital Throw. So it looks like in this situation, Brawly is just too good for me, but thankfully this isn't too big a deal. I can just come back later. So I went and battled all the trainers around Slateport, and now I'm at level 29. Is this going to be enough to beat Brawly? I hope so. I go Tackle, it goes Bulk Up. Remember, I could go for Struggle, but wasting all my power points is annoying. This time, I don't put Machop within healing range, which is great. Metatite, I don't put within healing range, which is less great because now Makuhita could heal. I get a very unclutched Tackle miss. And now after that bulk up, I don't even know. I need a crit, really. If I don't get a crit, we're going to lose. It's going for Reversal, but it's not too big a deal. If I get a crit, we win. It's all up to the crit. Especially after all these bulk ups, we just need a crit. I'm trying really hard. He gets a crit. I cannot get a crit. But eventually I could win if I keep doing this, which I will. I think it's safe to say that this battle is much more difficult than it was in Ruby and Sapphire. I mean, it took many, many attempts, and this one, where, spoiler, I do win, was unbelievably tedious and long, which is why we're speeding it up. I make it to Makuhita with 73 HP. Tackle doesn't miss on the first turn, which is nice. Once again, we get in a situation where if only I could get a crit, we would win, and it looks like that's not happening, so I have to keep going for Tackle. Thankfully, I am fairly bulky and bug type. And finally, after like 5 or 6 battles, I get the crit I needed. I beat Makuhita. I'm at level 30, and I'm ready to go and battle a trainer that did give me a really tough time in Ruby and Sapphire, May 2. Well, not a really tough time, but more tough than Brawly did. Okay, so May 2 has Wingle, and it outspeeds Supersonic Misses. I almost knock it out, and Growl is really bad. That probably is GG right there. Because Combuskin, we don't do enough. It goes Focus Energy. It's actually a speed tie right now, which is frustrating. And unfortunately, we lose that tie too many times. The Growl is a big deal. This may be a good example of a time where leveling up one more would make a huge difference, because outspeeding every time would be nice. And yeah, Wingle goes for Growl. I'm gonna just reset when that happens. I don't think Wingle has to go for Growl or anything. I just getting unlucky. Wow, I'm getting really unlucky. And a Tackle miss. All right, well, I don't know how many times I'm going to have to reset this, but I'm not going to outspeed Wingle all that soon. It's fairly quick. There we go. Wing attack is actually better. And now it goes, all right, 2 wing attacks is kind of bad. We'll see what happens here. Okay, Combuskin. We don't have Growl on, so Tackle, Focus Energy, Ember, Tackle, and okay, if we'd outsped, we would have knocked it out with Tackle. So basically, I think what we need to have happen here is Wingle to, well, it can't use Growl. It's got more moves than Growl and Wing Attack, I don't know why it's only going for those two. It easily could go for other things, but it won't. Oh my god. Well, finally, after what feels like an eternity, actually you've watched it live, I get wing attack, and then I get supersonic. Although it doesn't miss, I don't hit myself in confusion, so I'm at 64 HP. Now, I'm gonna go for tackle, and I'm gonna hope I don't hit myself in confusion, but I'm thinking of resetting. We win the speed tie, focus energy. We win the speed tie, ember. It is in blaze range, so I get hit for a lot of damage, but the final Pokemon is Lombre. I go for poison sting, it goes for astonish. I go for poison sting, it goes for nature power swift. I go for poison sting and win. For the record, tackle would do more damage since neither are same type. I was hoping that I'd get a poison out of it, but alas, that didn't happen. And we make it to, well, almost Marvel City. The nice thing about making it past May 2 is there are a ton of trainers and the daycare. So in theory, if I have more Zigzagoons, which I might go get, we can level them up in the daycare so that I can start getting rare candies. Watson was unbelievably difficult for Ruby and Sapphire Wurmple, but he has a very different team this time. Only one Magneton as opposed to Magnemite and Magneton. That might make a difference, but I don't actually think it's a difference that will be good. It may end up being harder because he's got 4 Pokemon as opposed to 3. Now, like in Ruby, I'm probably going to have to use Struggle, but I'd like to see what happens if I don't, mostly because it's quicker. Spark, Tackle, Self-Destruct. Okay, we don't want to see that, but let's keep going. Electrike, Tackle, there is the Static. That is an annoying new thing Watson can do to me. So I am paralyzed at 33 HP, Sonic Boom, and yes. Tackle, even though it's only level 22, the Magneton, that will not work. I can equip a Cherry Berry, and that will help. I have Silk Scarf right now, which you get from Dewford. That is raising my normal moves, which, since I use Tackle so much, it is helpful. But right now, I probably want to be not paralyzed. However, I don't think there's any chance of a victory here. We get Tackle on Voltorb after it goes for Spark, then Shockwave. Actually, it's not even a 2-shot, although having the Super Potion on Voltorb is not a big deal. But yeah, this is even worse. We have to... I mean, I'm going to try battling him again, but we're going to have to level up. I can tell you that right now. All right, so I went to go level up. It was long, it was annoying, it was tedious, and I'm at level 37. Remember, I had to be at level 40 for Ruby and Sapphire. Now, Voltorb still had speeds, but at least we 2-shot, so that's an improvement. Electrike, it's going to be a 2-shot. I have Cherry Berry. Howl is good. So this is all good. Unfortunately, I'm paralyzed again. And now Magneton has Sonic Boom. I'm paralyzed. And Shockwave, I'm paralyzed. I don't even get a single hit in. Not even a single hit just to see how much damage I do. That's not good. I'll try one more time. Self-destruct right away. All right, let's just go with it. See what happens. We go Tackle. Stop Static. Oh my god. It's 30%, except it's like 100%. 100%! Jeez. Anyway, Shockwave. Oh, that's not gonna work. I thought it would be bad, but I didn't think it would be that bad. This bears saying using up all my power points is really, really tedious. And if I can use Tackle more in this run, I'd like to. But no, there's no way. That said, I can do something I called hybrid strats, where I use Struggle after I use Tackle. So I can 2-shot... Oh, well, that's unfortunate. I can 2-shot both Voltorb and Electrike with Tackle. And you can see I've actually leveled up since we last battled. The crit was bad, and I forgot to equip another Cherry Berry. And now I can see how much Struggle does, and that's decent damage to Magneton. Watson does have a Super Potion, so that's not going to work, obviously. I need to remember to equip a Cherry Berry. The issue is, some of the wild Pokemon can paralyze me, and then I forget to unequip it, and then I save. So, gotta not lose my last Cherry Berry. Okay, so, Spark, Tackle, okay, that can't happen. That can't happen. I wish we could outspeed Voltorb. It's very unfortunate that Voltorb is so much faster than his lead in Ruby Sapphire, Magnemite. Shockwave is fine, but Self-Destruct is bad. I need more HP. We need a ton of HP. Magneton's not even the final Pokemon. There's still his ace, Manectric. Shockwave is fine. All right, maybe we need to just reset for a crit and have 3 tackles. Leer isn't that big a deal. So yeah, I'd like to be at Struggle now, obviously. Tackle does nothing. Supersonic Miss is fine. Shockwave, struggle. Okay, is this a speed tie? I think it is. Unfortunately, the damage ranges are not good. Magneton is able to heal, and while we may knock it out, we knock ourselves out in the process. So we're close, but we're going to have to level up a little bit more in order to make things work. So now we're at level 40, the same level as Ruby and Sapphire. Can we win? We are going tackle, and I still have 4. Finally, we don't get the crit. We're at 83. Electrike, tackle, howl, and we got tackle. Perfect. And we got Cherry Berry. We're not paralyzed. We go struggle. It's a 3rd. We're paralyzed now, but Supersonic misses, which is fine. And Sonic Boom, we're at 53 now, 49 for Manectric. First time we've made it here. Howl. Struggle. Oh, that's a nice crit. Citrus Berry. Oh, that's kind of bad. Shockwave. No, we lost. Very close-ish. That wasn't great. Close-ish. Close-ish. I don't know if we have to level up a bit more. That wasn't quite as close as I'd like, though, considering I'm at level 40. Once again, I think we can safely say Watson's Emerald version is harder for Wurmple than his Ruby and Sapphire version, because we're now at level 42. And we get Tackle Crit. That works now because we do so much damage to Electrike, it actually heals. So, in fact, I could have used a 4th Tackle. It's fine. A little bit of extra struggle isn't that big a deal. Then I'm going to go struggle and get the crit. Then I get hit by Thunder Wave. I'm not done yet. I should 2-shot, but I don't. And that means Magneton is not only able to paralyze me now, but also hit me with a Shockwave. So I have 55 HP and paralyzed for Manectric. It goes Howl. I go Struggle. It does half, but Manectric's Citrus Berry basically takes it to full HP. I go for Struggle. I think we're going to win. It hasn't attacked me yet, and thankfully Watson didn't attack. If he did, I'd have lost. But finally, after how long have I been battling Watson for? Over an hour of real-world time, we have made it past Watson. The idea that Emerald was better for Wurmple may be looking like a bit of a fallacy here, at least if we look at the first 2 gyms as an example. However, I did say this at the end of the last video, there are certain things about Emerald that in the long run might make Wurmple and Emerald a little bit better, but for now, we have some tough times ahead. First, we have to battle Maxie, and Maxie's Mightyena intimidates us. We are back to using Tackle, and yeah, that's not going to work. Tackle plus Sand Attack is not going to work. Now, if I don't mind wasting a bit of time, there is something I can do here that I couldn't in Ruby and Sapphire. I'd prefer not to, but I might. But that's only if this battle gets really annoying, and honestly, it looks like it's about to get really annoying. I could use Struggle, but another thing I can do in addition to that is equip the White Herb. Now this is something, oh, well, that's a bad miss. Now this is something theoretically I could have done in Ruby and Sapphire as well. The problem with doing that in Ruby and Sapphire was that if I'd used the White Herb here, I wouldn't have had it for Sydney, which I felt I needed. If we refer back to the pickup table, if I level up my Zigzagoon enough, all the way up to level 41, there is a 1% chance that the 10% chance after I win a battle will yield a White Herb. If that sounds like, wow, Jaros, that could take a really long time. Yes, it can. But in theory, I get infinite White Herbs. And if it saves time here, maybe we worry about Sydney later. So how much does White Herb help? That's a good question. Fair bit. It's going to be a 3-shot now on Mightyena, meaning we easily make it to Camerupt. Camerupt's not going to be too easy, but thankfully Camerupt just goes for Magnitude. It does have Ember, so I have to watch out for that. But with 11 HP remaining, I may get to Zubat. No, I won't. But I think I will soon. Again, if we have to, I could always combine this with Struggle. Struggle is 15 base power higher. Unfortunately, the damage ranges of my Tackle is really bad, and Maxie's Super Potions are very annoying, but I am at least consistently making it to Camerupt, which I wasn't before, If only we just keep going for magnitude or focus energy is fine. Things will be great, but again, gotta worry about those super potions and gotta worry about those ember crits. Turns out even with White Herb, it took about 15 minutes to beat Maxie, which is really, really irritating, but it's unsurprising. Wurmple is kinda really bad, but we do win here. Part of it relies on Maxie just not using the best moves, and part of it relies on not getting crits at the worst times. But eventually, things went my way. I knock out Camerupt, although those super potions really made things irritating for me. And with 33 HP, I make it to Zubat, and then it's just 1. And okay, that did more than I thought it would. 2 tackles, you're out at the old Pokeball game. And you know what our reward is? I mean, y'all know what our reward is. Our reward is we get to fight Flannery, the fire-type gym leader whose ace is a Torkoal that has incredibly high physical defense. Hooray for me. Alright, so this is my first battle versus Flannery, and I'm at level 48. We're using Tackle, and Numel has Overheat, which is bad. We don't want that to hit with Overheat, and likely we're going to have to one-shot Numel. Remember, Ruby and Sapphire Flannery doesn't even have a Numel. Anyway, this time Tackle, Sunny Day Tackle, okay. I mean, that's better, I guess. Slugma, we go Tackle, and then Overheat, yeah. I mean, what was I expecting? So now I can keep battling Flannery over and over to see if we get a better result, and alright, well this time we get by Slugma with mostly our HP intact. It used Smog. But now we have to face a Camerupt, which is a much better Pokemon than a Slugma is. This is probably one of the first gym leaders that experiences a significant buff from Ruby Sapphire. Slugma, Torkoal is one thing, but Camerupt plus Slugma plus a Numel is much, much better, especially in the context of a Wurmple challenge. This, by the way, was the last battle I'd even attempt before leveling up. For the record, to beat Flannery in Ruby and Sapphire, for those of you who don't remember, I had to get to level 57. So I still have a long way to go. Remember, as we talked about just a little bit earlier, without the ability to get rare candies from Zigzagoon now, I mean, I could if I put them in the daycare, which I might have to do, it takes a lot longer to level up than it did back in Ruby and Sapphire. So I'm only at level 52, and I'm using Struggle. Unfortunately, that isn't enough to one-shot Numel. It does waste a Hyper Potion, which is good, I guess, but we're already down 33 HP making it to Slugma, which will one-shot, and we might even get by Camerupt. I don't know. It does have Overheat misses. So for the first time, we have made it to Torkoal, and how much damage do we do? That much. Oh, for those of you, and there are many apparently, who like to listen to this like a podcast, that probably was a 5th at best. Maybe less than a 5th. So yeah, in other words, not nearly enough, and then Overheat just clearly knocked us out. We are only at half health. What's so disheartening about this battle is we actually got insanely good luck just to make it here, and we're not even close to beating Torkoal. I could go catch some Zigzagoon and put them in the daycare and get rare candies, or if I want to waste enough time, I could do something else. I don't want to do that, but we'll see. I opt just to go for the rare candy Zigzagoons, which only are level 21. That's not too bad to do. And so I'm at level 58. As you'd expect, we now do one-shot Numel. However, and this is important, we still have to use Struggle. We one-shot Slugma, and it will be a 2-shot on Camerupt. We know that, unless we crit, which we don't. Overheat hits, and so we're gonna need that to miss. What I want to know is how much damage do I do to Torkoal, and the answer is, looks like a quarter, which is better. It's better, but we're still in a situation where I don't think we're that close. I mean, I think we need to just get a crit on Camerupt, which is a tall order, but potentially could work. Sometimes Flannery will go for Body Slam for no reason. In this battle, we get, see, if I get an, oh wow, we got a crit on us. We get an Overheat miss, which is a 10% chance and or a critical hit, which is, well, actually not and or, one or the other, but or an 8% chance of a crit, we will make it through, but it's going to be a reset fest until then. All right, there's the miss. Okay, so we're at 104 HP. How does this go? Struggle. Overheat. Done. Great. Wonderful. I don't have any other items, anything that is useful. I am a Wurmple. Well, I'm not a Wurmple. I'm a person, and my player character isn't a Wurmple either, even though he's named Wormy too. But I think you guys understood what I meant. I think that didn't need so much explanation. Well, one more before I end streaming for the night. This time, camera up goes for sunny day, so there's a third option. I don't care because overheat hitting is bad anyway. Struggle, overheat, yeah. Considering I'd made it this far in only one stream, I was pretty happy, but I knew it might take me just as long to get past Flannery. Probably not, but it was going to take a while. I hate to say, battling Flannery at this point is like Brock in Red and Blue. You just level up and hope everything works out. Now I'm at level 62. You can see I've been getting some good rare candy usage because I have exactly 0 EXP when I start. Right now, though, it doesn't help that much because it's still one-shotting the first two-shotting camera up, and I still need really good luck versus Torkoal. Now, in theory, if it does 2/3, we could get crit and miss, but the combination of a crit and miss is less than 1%. So that is a very, very difficult thing to have to reset for. We do get a crit on camera up, which is nice, so no sunny day, meaning we may not get one shot. Ooh, Torkoal went for sunny day. Hold up. Oh, no. We basically got the crit and miss. We got it because it used sunny day. We actually got double crits. I didn't even think that would work, and it would have, just not at level 62. Ah, that sucks. No, to beat Flannery, I had to go all the way to, well, almost level 66. And we're going to be using hybrid strats, which basically means I use Tackle for the first 3 Pokemon, and this time Camera Up went for Tackle, which it sometimes does, and now I go for Struggle versus Torkoal. Because of hybrid strats, I have enough to tank an overheat, and then all I need is a single critical hit in order to win. This only worked at level 66 because I needed to do enough damage with Tackle to knock out the Camera Up in 2 hits. Remember, I am not fully EV trained in attack. I probably should have been, which I was back in Ruby and Sapphire. But again, that was level 57. I'm nearly 10 levels higher, which, while very annoying for Flannery, actually probably means Norman is going to be a first try victory, because Norman is the rare trainer I actually think is slightly easier in Emerald, because he only has 1 slacking as opposed to 2, and slacking is really, really good, even with Truant. Norman leads with a Spinda, only level 27. Tackle is not enough to knock it out, but it goes for Facade, and this is really good. Vigoroth is next. Tackle is not enough to 2-shot it, so Norman is going to heal. I'm at 130, and again, not a 2-shot. I'm at 115. I knock it out with Poison Sting. Lanoon is next. I go Tackle. This will 2-shot, and it actually went for Belly Drum, which didn't work because I did more than half. And then Tackle does very little to slacking. It went for Facade, then it loafs. Then, in its next move, it goes for Yawn. I go to Poison it, which is a double-edged sword because it does have Facade, but it goes for double Yawn. I am sleeping, and Norman is healing with Hyper Potion, but I may be able to win so long as it doesn't go for Facade. It loafs and then counters, but it never Facades. And so with 25 HP remaining, as I predicted on my very first attempt, I do beat Norman. Very clutch poison, and it's the first time, I think, in this entire saga that Poison Sting is actually genuinely proven useful and necessary. Pretty sick. Now, one really cool thing about unlocking Surf, which is what we just did, is there are a ton of trainers in the water. We can battle Winona, we can not battle Winona. There is a lot we can do at this point. And while we won't gain as many levels because we're already so high leveled, we can gain still a significant amount. And since I already have the Zigzagoon army leveled up, we can get more rare candies, in theory. Like with Ruby and Sapphire, however, I did want to battle Winona as soon as I could, just to see how we do. We're at level 72, and we actually nearly one-shot Swablu with Tackle. We can then go tackle Poison Sting, and Swablu withdraws, and this is the big thing, Skarmory. How will we do versus Skarmory with Tackle? In the previous attempt in Ruby Sapphire, we needed to swap to Struggle. In this one, although we're hit with Sand Attack, Tackle did fine. I then go for Poison Sting on Tropius, trying to poison it. It is super effective. Unfortunately, I'm not getting the poison, although I haven't missed yet, which is nice. And I actually should have gone for Tackle there. That was a bad decision. Tropius is now Synthesis all the way to full health, and I am starting to miss. My HP is starting to drop, and I just can't get that poison. Ridiculous, I know. Finally, once it's pretty much already too late, I get the poison, but I'm at 38 HP. Tropius has used up all its synthesises, and actually, now it's using Sunny Day again. We knock out Tropius. Swablu comes back out. We can knock it out with Tackle, so 2 to go. Pelipper is the second to last Pokemon. It is annoying, but it shouldn't be too difficult. It double protects, which is very frustrating. Then I miss with Tackle. Actually, it may beat me, and it does. Okay. After trying a couple more times, I decide, all right, there's no reason not to battle all the rest of the trainers I can on the way to Lily Cove City, so we'll come back here. We are only 2 levels higher, which makes sense. We're already at level 74, but we have switched to Struggle, which is going to make a massive difference, not versus Swablu and not versus Tropius, although we do knock them out very quickly, but it will make a massive difference versus this Pokemon. Wait, no, it's Pelipper. All right, I guess Skarmory comes out 4th when it's not some weird switch-in strat, but all right, let's just go Struggle. It's going to take a sec because Pelipper is protecting, but now we've made it to Skarmory, so this is what we needed to do. Oh, it's Altaria. Okay, I guess Skarmory's coming out last. Well, we actually two-shot Altaria because the Oranberry, I don't know why it has an Oranberry, probably a programming error, puts it within healing range, or sorry, takes it out of healing range. Then Skarmory comes out, and that's probably enough to knock me out because even though I have a little HP left, when I use my second Struggle, even though it's going to be a two-shot, oh, I survive on 2 HP, let's go! Oh, a lot just happened there so quickly. So much happening there. So, yeah, I mean, an Oranberry took it out of healing range. A Citrus Berry would have been too much health, so that was perfect. And then we did half the Skarmory, which also was perfect, meaning level 74 is the right level. And we had just enough HP to tank the Struggle recoil damage. It's crazy. So we're at the perfect level. Well, good news, there are only 2 more gym leaders left. Bad news, we have to face Emerald, Tate, and Liza. This is the biggest jump in difficulty in a solo run between Ruby and Sapphire. Just Solrock and Lunatone isn't that bad, but Xatu plus Claydol plus Solrock plus Lunatone is abysmal. Truly abysmal. And we may need to actually go all the way to level 100. I hope not, but this battle can be brutal. All right, attempt number 1 versus Tate and Liza. What's it going to look like? So, Claydol and Xatu versus Wurmple and a level 5 Zigzagoon. I'm going to go Tackle on Xatu, and then it doesn't really matter. Xatu is going to go for Psychic, and that didn't do enough. But Earthquake is not very effective. Xatu goes for Sunny Day. I get a crit, so I actually knock out Xatu. Solrock comes out. It goes for Earthquake, and I'm going to knock out Claydol. Solrock, though, has Flamethrower, and with the sun up, that is going to easily start to knock me out, and yeah. That was 1 Pokemon down, not even half health to Claydol. Tackle's not very effective against Solrock. Yeah, this is not happening at level 79. I don't know why I thought it would, but it's not. One thing you should know, though, as I go to level up more, is throughout this entire playthrough, I have been slowly but surely gaining some rare candies. How many? Right now, I have 16. And I also got the Everstone, so I can quickly use all the rare candies. And that is going to mean Wurmple is all the way at level 96. We're 4 off the maximum. How does this go now? All right, well, first things first, we're going to use Struggle. The problem with Struggle is we can't aim it. So we hit Claydol, but it's a 2-shot, which is actually fine. Unfortunately, the next one hits Xatu. This is why Struggle is so brutal in double battles. I can't control which opponent I hit. So we're going to hit now Xatu and knock it out. That's fine, I guess. Solrock comes out. Claydol goes for Earthquake. And then I'm going to go for Struggle, and it hits Solrock, meaning Claydol gets to go Earthquake. Solrock goes for Flamethrower, and we don't have very much HP left. Solrock does have a Citrus Berry. I'm able to knock out Claydol, but even at level 96, I haven't even made it to the final Pokemon. We're going to need even more to beat Tate and Liza. First things first, we're almost at level 100, so it's time to EV train. This will maximize the correct stats, aka attack. And all I gotta do is use these EV reducing berries. Now, thankfully nowadays there are several ways to just read your save file and find out how many EVs a Pokemon has. In the past, I had to use an Excel spreadsheet, which was terrible. But yeah, this process is a little annoying because this helps me reduce EVs quickly. But to gain them, I just have to knock out a bunch of Poochyena, which is annoying. But sadly, that's not the only thing I'm going to do. I hate doing this. Every single time I do it, I hate it. But if you looked at the pickup chart from earlier, or looking at it right now, you can see that starting at level 81, there is a 1% chance that a pickup Pokemon after a winning battle, so only 10% chance they get an item, and then 1% chance that item is leftovers. Unfortunately, that means I need to get my Zigzagoon all the way to level 81, which requires a ton of biking back and forth. No, you can't just do the slope trick. For those of you who even know what that is, it doesn't work in Emerald, so that's annoying, meaning I have to actively press back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then, even after all of that, which takes like hours, you then have to go into some grass and bounce up and down, and actually that you can just hold B, but then you just battle a ton of wild Pokemon until you get leftovers. Is there any way to make Pokerus happen? It's a 1 in 16,000 chance. Pray to the RNG deities. Literally 2 minutes later. I can't believe it. We're 2 for 2. It's so unlikely. Oh my god, I can't believe we're 2 for 2 on Pokerus. That's ridiculous. Now, I want to point out that I had fully EV trained at this point, so Pokerus was actually useless, but that's how long this took. I got Pokerus again. 2 for 2 with Wurmple. For the record, I encountered a shiny in 0 of the runs, but Pokerus I got twice. Well, finally, and we're at 70 in-game hours, just so you know. The leftovers whole thing takes a really long time. I would never be able to do it on legit console at single speed. But we're going to use some hybrid strats. Hybrid strats for the win. Tackle so I can aim and knock out the Claydol first. And of course, oh, well, it actually doesn't 2-shot. That's wonderful. Very wonderful. Do I have any more rare candies? I probably do. Oh yeah, I got 20 of them. Now we're at level 100. There is no more levels we can get. We need to 2-shot this Claydol. Looks like we're going to. Very good. Okay, so Lefty's recovery almost, yeah, actually I'm going to press start. I don't know if you guys know this. Did I just miss with tackle? Yes, of course I did. But I was gonna say, if you press start, it will toggle the menu so you can see your HP. I kind of like seeing my HP. It's more useful than just a green bar of nothingness. And yeah, just helps me kind of math out the fight. So we're going to two-shot Claydol, I hope. And we do. That crit may have mattered. But now we got to knock out the Xatu. And it's going to take 2 tackles, which is fine. At which point we will have Solrock and Lunatone out, and Struggle would be the right move for those. Now, hopefully... Oh, wow, that did a lot. Hopefully, I hit the same one twice. Struggle hits Solrock. That is going to take it within Citrus Berry range, but the Citrus Berry will take it out of healing range. Do we hit it? No, we hit Lunatone. And that's going to put Lunatone in a similar situation as Solrock, but I think we're done. We do knock out Lunatone, which is the wrong one. We need to knock out Solrock. So we're close. We're very, very, very close. All right, come on. One more battle. Let's go. Let's go. We got this. We got this. Level 100. This time I'll knock out Xatu first. Why? Because Sunny Day was terrible. I made the wrong call. Xatu's gotta go. So we knock out Xatu. Don't know why it took me so long to figure out that, but we're okay. Now we can tackle Claydol. Don't know how much HP I have exactly. Oh, Sunny Day. They have it. Okay, well. And then I miss with tackle. That's fantastic. That's just great. Well, Struggle hits Claydol, and yeah, we're gonna lose. Unless we get like a crit on Solrock, we're done. Let's see if we get it. All right, not a crit, but we do hit the Solrock. That's nice, but yeah, we've lost. Lunatone's already calm-minded. We don't even knock out the Solrock. All right. Wow, this is not going well. In the end, it took another 10 minutes to get a victory. Why? Well, we're going to actually have to use Struggle on Claydol. Turns out that 2-shot, even at level 100, was inconsistent. Yay. So great. And then we just need good luck. We need to knock out Solrock ASAP. It is the worst Pokemon we could deal with. And if we get a double hit on Solrock, which is not what we get here for the record, we don't even get that here. All I wanted was a double hit on Solrock, but no, we at least get 2 out of 3. Claydol Lunatone is far less scary because Claydol can't actually do all that much to me. In fact, I out-heal it with leftovers. I then hit Lunatone, which goes for Psychic. This is bad if I don't hit Lunatone again, but of course, since you know I win here, I do. And the Claydol still has a little bit too much health to heal. I don't know how much health I have left, but it's not a lot. And that's a bad sign, but also a good sign. The fact we were able to win it all is kind of nice. It shows that all the strats we've used, hybrid strats, leftovers, and getting to level 100 is making a difference. The problem is we now have no more levels left to go, and we're not going to be able to use leftovers versus Sydney likely. We actually still have to go and fight Juan. So let's go do that real quick. Oh, wait, I forgot. There's that terrible multi-battle with Maxie and Tabitha. Oh, I absolutely hate this. But at level 100, it's not so bad. I have healed and I've gotten Tackle back just because going to the Pokemon Center is better. But thankfully, it only took 1 attempt to win. So nothing really to say there, but it always scares me. After beating Archie on my first attempt, we make it to the final gym leader, Juan. He leads with Love Disc. We have Wurmple. I'm going to go for Tackle, and I get a crit. Yay. Whiskash is next. Tackle misses. Amnesia is irrelevant. I go for Tackle. It's going to 2-shot. Water Pulse, remember, cannot confuse a Wurmple because that's a secondary effect. So we're good. We're at full HP for Celio thanks to the leftovers. And we're actually going to knock it out. See, when you knock out a Pokemon, you get free leftovers. It's so good. This is very different from Shell Bell, where I actually have to hit the Pokemon. It's just amazing. And we're... Oh, well, it's going to be a 3-shot on Kingdra. And Rest actually is fine. It goes Resto Chesto. Unfortunately, Kingdra is going to heal, and it's already used a double team. Well, it's not going to heal yet, actually. It's resting still. Very frustrating. This is going to take a while. Thankfully, you haven't missed yet. I'm sure I just jinxed it. Hey, look at that. It never fails. But since we can't get confused, I'm not overly worried. It's just about how much time does this waste. And thankfully, after what feels like eons, we get a critical hit, knock out the Kingdra, and we have all gym badges ready to take on the Elite Four. Wowly is really easy. I love making that noise. I actually don't like that movie. That's like when I tell people that, they get so annoyed that I don't like Wall-E. It's just, why do I want to watch a movie about no dialogue? Like I don't know. I know people love the movie. That's probably like the most, that's probably more controversial than calling Lorelai, as you guys call her, Lauralee. So, you know, I always try to raise the bar in these videos. Always try to raise the bar. I'm scared all the people I just asked to subscribe just unsubscribe. But all right, I'm going to stop talking then. Let's go and battle the Elite Four. Level 100, leftovers. Let's go. Sydney leads with Mighty Anna, so I have the white herb available. That means I'm at neutral attack, and of course I miss. So we got to do that again. I also realized I didn't set up my PowerPoints for the Phoebe battle, so I'm actually going to have to go back. And because I'm going to be honest, a little bit of laziness, I just went straight for struggle because then I don't have to worry about any kind of PowerPoint manipulation. It isn't though enough to knock out Mighty Anna, and in this generation, struggle can miss. It only has 100 accuracy. In later gens, it actually can't miss. And we get one of those misses pretty early on, then a secondary one. And by the time we knock out Mighty Anna, we're at half HP. We also can't one-shot Absol. It is going to heal with Citrus Berry, meaning it won't heal with a potion. We're at 74 HP for Shiftry, and that just isn't going to cut it. So if we use Struggle, we may have to be at lower attack and use the leftovers. We make it pretty far, but Cacturn knocks us out. Now, we know we're going to beat Sydney because we beat him in Ruby and Sapphire, and he's not significantly tougher. However, I did have to use leftovers in this battle. Sydney's actually a little bit better this time around, and I didn't have leftovers last time. Probably hybrid strats would have helped me out here, conserve HP, and it was really irritating to win. Actually, are we going to win here? No! We're not going to win here. Okay, well, even with lefties, it's not guaranteed. That's annoying. What makes this battle so irritating is that Mighty Anna loves to go for Sand Attack, and I found that if it did, I just had to reset. But it goes for Sand Attack so darn often that it's just so frustrating to get a run by Mighty Anna. And then when you do, something really unlikely and dumb happens, and you lose to Crawdont. Twice I've lost to Crawdont. Finally, after like 20 minutes of battling Sydney, we go back to White Herb because I had to, which is frustrating. So many resets versus Mighty Anna, but finally we get a crit, and that's what I was resetting for, either no Sand Attack or crit. Then we get actually a miss with Rock Slide, and once that had happened, I knew that we were going to win. With full attack, everything is a two-shot. We need to not miss Shiftry here. It goes for full restore. Sydney has two of them, which is very frustrating. Again, hybrid strats probably would have been better. If I wasn't so lazy, things would have gone differently. So that's on me for not wanting to count PowerPoints. In the end, though, all I need to do is get one battle past Sydney, and then I make it to Phoebe with Struggle. Of course, you probably already know, but if you don't, Phoebe is a Ghost-type trainer. So I need to have Struggle here, or else I will not be able to hit any of her Pokemon. The good news about this battle is I don't really have to think much. The strategy is pretty limited. Keep leftovers, use Struggle, hope to win. It's going to go for Protect a couple times, which is just irritating. Struggle does half, which is nice. And then it confuses me, which is annoying, but I knock out Dusclops number 1. It has Curse, so that's really good. Now the final Dusclops comes out. I go for Struggle, it goes for Rock Slide, and then Citrus Berry, so it's going to be probably a 4-hit KO because Phoebe is going to heal here. I'm running low on HP, however, I am gaining just slightly more HP with leftovers than I'm losing via Struggle, which is pretty good. And now Banette's going to be a 2-shot. It goes for Grudge, which is useless because I go for Struggle. And now we have Sableye. None of these Pokemon have a ton of HP, by the way. Sableye, we're down to 119. Probably not in healing range. No, it is. And after that double team, I miss, which sucks. Then I miss again. It hits with Shadow Ball. This is bad. I miss a third time. It goes for double team. This could be really bad. Finally, I hit again, which is good. I need to hit one last time, and I think we win. There we go. Now it's just one more Banette. Pretty sure we have this with 138 HP. Phoebe is out of Hyper Potions. First try victory. We have made it back to Glacia. Recall that I was not able to defeat Glacia back in Ruby and Sapphire. Her team is different though this time, or at least it's configured differently. It's the same Pokemon, but the loadout now goes Celio, Glalie, Celio, Glalie, as opposed to Glalie, Celio, Celio, Glalie, which I don't know if it makes a difference. The leftovers probably make a difference. Let's see what happens. All right, if we beat her, it's a new PB. So, Wurmple, we're going to go Struggle, does over half. Hail is going to counter the leftovers, but that is good. It means we're still doing okay. So, we got Hail, we got leftovers, we're at 209 for Glalie. Struggle, it goes for Icy Wind. That doesn't lower my speed, which is fine. We knock out Glalie number 2, we're just over half HP, and we're going to get back there with lefties. Struggle against Celio number 2. Blizzard hits. That's unfortunate. So we have made it to the second Glalie with just 44 HP. That's not going to be nearly enough. And it's going to knock me out with Ice Beam. Not looking good. Well, if I reset until I get a critical hit against the first Celio, what happens then? So that's what I did in this battle. Got the critical hit against the first Pokemon. And now Glalie goes for Icy Wind. Of course it gets a crit, but let's imagine it doesn't, because we can reset for a crit against the first Celio. It's not that long to do it. Now the second Celio has to go for Hail. That means we have more than double the HP we had the first time we made it here, and Ice Beam, we actually are going to get knocked out by Hail. So we have to keep resetting. This time, don't get crit by Icy Wind. This is a long and tedious process. It is only an 8% chance to get a crit, but I think it's going to be necessary. It's exciting. I keep waiting for my opportunity when I get that crit, and when it happens, it's go time. Well, at least partial go time. I don't know how excited I should get yet. So this time I go for Struggle. It goes for Icy Wind and doesn't crit. Okay? So we've knocked it out. 181 for Celio number 2. It's going to go for Hail. We're going to be at 159, and then we knock it out. So that's 40 more HP for Glalie number 2. We might actually make it to Walrein this time. Glalie number 2 goes for Ice Beam, and we will make it to Walrein for the very first time with just 40 HP remaining, though. I don't know how excited we should be, because I don't think, even with the crit, yeah, we don't have enough HP. Not only do we not knock it out, we don't have enough HP, which is what I was worried about, to withstand our own recoil damage. Now, lefties could have helped if it was multiple turns, and this is as close as we've ever come to beating Glacia, but not nearly close enough. However, here's what I think might work. We can reset until we crit the first Celio, and then we just have to wait for an opportunity to get a crit against the second Glalie. With that, I think Icy Wind we can withstand. Hail isn't that big a deal. Obviously, if we get 3 crits, it's even better. So right now, we're basically hoping for, once we get past Celio number 1, I think I've been saying an 8% chance. I'm not sure why I keep saying that. It's 1 out of 16, which is a 6.25% chance. I've been accidentally saying 8%, I think, this entire run. I'll see if I can edit those out. So if you never heard it, then I caught them all. Just so we're all clear, in Generation 2 through Generation, I forget which one, it is 1 in 16. Modern Pokemon, it is 1 in 24. Additionally, by the way, starting in one generation, critical hits only do 1.5 times damage, while in the earlier ones, I think it's Gen 6 where that started. I think that's where the 1.5 started. In earlier generations, it was 2 times. Also, Gen 1 is weird and doesn't work this way for anything, but we're not playing that right now. Because it was taking so long, I decided to try some tackle strats. Now, I can't get my HP to a perfect value, but I can heal it by 10, and then we will go back to Struggle. But the nice thing about using Tackle is that the hail damage now isn't stacking with the recoil damage. So in theory, we might end up with more HP, even though it might take us longer to knock things out. And we get really, really good luck here, as we actually are at full HP to Celio number 2. This is the first time we've made it with full HP, and we have the perfect number of tackles in theory. Unfortunately, it does hit us with a blizzard. That would suck, and it hits us again with a blizzard after a really unclutched tackle miss. But we make it to Glalie number 2, and it will get us to Walrein, but as we know, we need more HP than we have here, and it hits us anyway with Surf. So now there are two potential pathways to victory, a pure struggle strat and a bit of a hybrid strat. Which one would work? It would just be about resetting again and again and again, trying it over and over and seeing what seems to be more consistent. Sadly, while it failed at different times, the tackle strat, at least the hybrid tackle strat, wasn't really working as well as I'd like it to. I mean, I could restore all my power points and see if I could just use tackle the whole way, but it really just, it was working, I guess, better in the sense I was getting to wall rain, but not with any realistic chance of beating wall rain. And again, the fact that I don't have like PowerPoint by PowerPoint control of tackle, it's frustrating because if I did, I could put the perfect amount of PowerPoints for a certain strategy, but having to use an arbitrary number like 10 or maximum, it's a little bit more difficult. Well, I have to stick with the 10. It is, like I said, more consistent. In this one, we don't get really good luck against Celio number 1, and we only make it past with 211 HP. However, we get a really clutch crit against Glalie number 1, and so we make it to Celio number 2 with basically full HP. That does mean it's going for Hail since Hail has stopped, and we have the perfect number of power points. We finally get that Blizzard Miss we've been needing, and we're at struggle for Glalie. If we get a crit here, I think we win, but that is very low chance. It doesn't happen. We do get hit with Ice Beam. That said, we're gonna make it to wall rain with a ton of HP this time. More than ever before at 152. We go for struggle, it goes for surf, lefties heal. We go for struggle, it goes for Ice Beam, and if we could just have tanked that, I think with the citrus berry, it wouldn't have healed and we would have won. But sadly, still not enough HP. I wouldn't make it to wall rain all that often, but time after time we'd make it there. And I knew that I was a crit away sometimes from winning, but never could get it. Finally, after dozens of resets, tons of strategy changes, countless attempts, and heartbreaking losses, we get this attempt where we're gonna make it to Glalie number 2 with 205 HP. Struggle doesn't crit, but we have as much as we've had in a long time. We're going to have 101 HP if Hail doesn't stop, which it does. 116! All we need right now is a crit and we win! But this was not to be the battle. Sadly, it just wasn't seeming like this was going to happen. The tackle strat was better. I was making a wall rain a little bit more frequently, but I just could never get past it. It didn't seem to matter how much HP I had. Although this battle looked a little promising. We got, for the first time, the crit against Glalie number 2. So we have 146, our most HP ever. And yet it's clear that despite all the good luck that got me here, I still need a 1 in 16 crit to win. And after 2 hours and hundreds of resets, we get it. We have made it to Drake. And we are 2 battles away from Wurmple becoming champion of the Hoenn region. But in our way, first comes Drake. Drake only has 5 Pokemon. And I can see we have Shelgon with Rock Tomb, but that can miss. Flygon with Flamethrower, but its defense is pretty bad. The scariest thing is Salamence that has Intimidate. I don't know the order which these Pokemon will come out for Wurmple, and this could end up being really bad for me. I'm going to start with Struggle just because it's easier to do it that way, but this could be even worse than Glacia. Alright, Shelgon v Wurmple, and I don't care about Protect. I do care that I don't even do half. That is really, really bad. And then Rock Tomb, well, that can miss, but oh, that's going to be bad. At least it wastes one of the 2 full restorers, but I'm going to need Rock Tomb to miss a bit more. Oh, God. That is a bad sign. I may want to immediately go for an Ether here, because if it's going to be a 3-shot anyway, we're going to need more HP. But, oh, gosh. Okay. So Protect is going to make this PP management annoying. But Rock Tomb hits. That's frustrating. Come on, just miss. Double Edge. It has Rock Head. Okay, fine. Next Pokemon is Flygon. It does have Flamethrower. Of course I missed. Come on. All right, now... Oh my god, what is this? All right, well, I got no useful information. In the next battle, I forget to Ether, and so I'm stuck with Struggle. And it does seem like it can be a two-shot, but I don't know how likely that is. Anyway, we've made it to Flygon with full HP. How much damage do we do? Oh, that's really not good. That's really, really, really not good. Oh, that's horrendous. Oh, that's super horrendous bad. Okay, so I don't know if this can be possible, because in order to win, you want to be hit as less as possible. I mean, duh. But if it takes 3 hits plus the potions and whatnot, it's just going to be a nightmare. Oh my god. I have to think about this, what we're going to have to do. This is not good. This is not good at all. It won't shock you to learn reset strats are going to come into play, and we're going to use Tackle because it's going to be a 3-shot anyway. So we make it to Flygon with 211 HP, but here is something even worse. I don't know if Tackle is a 3-shot. It actually is. In fact, I actually have struggled with my last move because I ran out of power points. We've made it to Altaria, which is fine, and it just immediately KOs me with Aerial Ace. Also, Struggle is not going to 2-shot Altaria either. I was worried about Salamence, now I'm worried about getting to Salamence. I'm going to be honest, guys, right now I don't see a pathway to victory. Usually I see something, but here I'm not even sure. I mean, if we can get like high rolls on Shelgon and Flygon and 2-shot them like this, maybe this will work, but I'm still at 100 HP. And then Altaria, I need a crit now to get past it. And yeah, I mean, I'm not even gonna... I don't know, guys. All right, we got time. Like, it's not like I'm in a rush or anything, but... Yikes. All I can do is keep resetting, hoping that things will get better. And I just have to... You know, at this point, I'm not even looking at the battles. I'm looking at HP and where it is. And if I don't like where my HP is at, I just reset. I'm getting lots of crits, which is nice. And, oh, okay, 169. Okay, this is really good. So now we probably need... Oh my god, wait. Okay, 144. Now we make it to Salamence. Okay, wait a minute. We go for Struggle. Another crit? This is insane. And it critted us. All right, well, that was interesting, wasn't it? So let's try that again. Okay. Wait, look at this. Look at all these crits we're getting. This is incredible. We just had to reset enough till we got all the crits. All right, we just need a crit against Altaria. There we go. We got the crit against Altaria. Unfortunately, no crit against Salamence, but it doesn't crit us either, which is good. We need a crit here or we're going to lose. Oh my god, we got it. There's one more Pokemon remaining. It's Kingdra. Do we win if we crit? We do! But wait a minute. How many crits did I just get? How did that just happen? Because I cheated. Like, literally cheated. I used a code to make every single hit a critical hit. That's why the Salamence critted me with Flamethrower the previous time. I forgot to shut off the code. That's why I didn't get a crit that time. In fact, not only did I have to do this on emulator, I even was willing to use save states in case I didn't get the ranges I needed because it wasn't guaranteed that a crit would knock some of these Pokemon out. Sean actually edited that part out, but thankfully it actually did happen on my first attempt, which is lucky. But yeah, the percent chance that you would actually get a run like this is negligible. We got a crit against every single Pokemon, and then not a crit one time that we needed it to be not a crit against Salamence. And we got the high range on every single hit, which wasn't even a cheat. That was just luck. And with all of that, with everything going our way, we still only had 15 HP to spare. That is it. The chance of this battle occurring, as far as I can tell, is worse than 1 in 100,000. And actually, that doesn't take into account the high rolls we got, so it's probably closer to 1 in 2 or 300,000. And then that doesn't count for the Salamence we have to crit here and not crit. It's probably closer to 1 in 400,000. And thus, another run with Wurmple comes to a disappointing end. I did try Wallace a little bit, first without cheats and then a little bit with. And honestly, I just didn't have the heart for it. Once I'd made it past Drake and proved how ridiculous it was to do even using cheats and save states, which for the record, I did it again and it took me like 5 minutes. So just keep in mind how crazy luck that was that I did it my first try. It's possible with the right combination of tackle and struggle, and depending on what Wallace picks, that maybe it is possible to beat him, but I just didn't care. I just didn't care. It was a loss, right? A loss is a loss is a loss. I lost. And I was pissed about it. Because I really thought that maybe Wurmple could win. I really thought it would be possible. But sadly, I mean, it just isn't. And although this battle against Wallace is definitely not perfect, I didn't bother using the crit cheat and save states to beat him. I'm sorry. If some of you want to do that, I'm sure it is theoretically possible. But that's it. I'm done. As far as the Generation 3 Hoenn games go, and I'm pretty sure Fired and Leaf Green because we had the same problem with Caterpie, and I don't really think Wurmple would be that much better. I think it's safe to say that Wurmple cannot beat any of them. So now the question becomes, is there a game Wurmple can beat? Without items, of course. Well, there may be. It's funny because when these games came out, I complained they were too easy. But would it be possible with the added mechanics of Generation 6 for Wurmple to beat Omega Ruby? Well, that's a question for 2026 J-Rose. As for me, I'll see you all guys very soon, though. I have some really cocool videos I'll be working on Twitch if you want to follow me there. Until then, take care. Bye.